Jean-Michel Basquiat, one of the most iconic and influential artists of the 20th century, left an indelible mark on the art world before his untimely death in 1988 at the age of 27. His unique style, blending graffiti, abstract expressionism, and Neo-Expressionism, made him a cultural icon. While his work and life have been widely discussed, there are still many fascinating and lesser-known aspects about Basquiat that aren't commonly mentioned. Here are 15 intriguing facts you may not have known about him. Before we start, don't forget like and subscribe for more. 1. Started as a graffiti artist. Before gaining recognition in the mainstream art world, Basquiat began his artistic career on the streets of New York as a graffiti artist. Under the pseudonym Samo, he and a high school friend, Al Diaz, scrawled enigmatic messages and phrases across Lower Manhattan in the late 1970s. Their tags became a fixture of the city's underground art scene, with phrases like Samo as an end to mind-wash religion, nowhere politics, and bogus philosophy. 2. Self-taught artist Basquiat never had formal art training. He dropped out of school at the age of 17. And although he briefly attended an alternative high school, he largely taught himself by studying art books and visiting museums. His self-education became apparent in his work, which often blended different artistic styles, historical references, and visual vocabularies. 3. Early struggles with homelessness. At the age of 17, Basquiat ran away from home and lived on the streets for a period, couch surfing, selling hand-painted postcards, and t-shirts to survive. This period of his life greatly influenced his artistic themes, particularly his focus on urban life, struggle, and survival. 4. Collaborated with Andy Warhol. One of the most well-known collaborations of Basquiat's career was with pop art legend Andy Warhol. Their friendship blossomed into a creative partnership, and they worked together on numerous pieces that blended their two distinctive styles. While their collaborative exhibitions received mixed reviews at the time, the partnership is now regarded as a pivotal point in Basquiat's career. 5. Deeply influenced by jazz and Black history music, especially jazz, played a significant role in Basquiat's life and work. He often referenced jazz musicians like Charlie Parker, Dizzy Gillespie, and Miles Davis in his paintings. Additionally, his work frequently incorporated themes from Black history and culture, including portrayals of African masks, historical Black figures, and commentary on colonialism and racism. 6. Had an early television appearance. In 1979, Basquiat appeared on the cable access show TV Party, hosted by Glenn O'Brien. The show was a hub for New York's punk and post-punk culture, and Basquiat, still in the early stages of his career, was featured as part of the city's underground creative scene. This exposure helped him make important connections with other artists and musicians. 7. He was multilingual. Jean-Michel Basquiat was fluent in English, French, and Spanish. His ability to speak multiple languages gave him access to a broader range of cultural influences, and he frequently incorporated text into his work in all three languages. His use of words, whether in English or French, was often abstract and layered with multiple meanings, adding depth to his pieces. 8. Appeared in a Blondie music video. Before becoming a famous artist, Basquiat made a cameo appearance in the music video for Blondie's hit song, Rapture, in 1981. Lead singer Debbie Harry was an early supporter of his art, and she bought one of his first paintings for $200. His appearance in the video further solidified his position in New York's burgeoning downtown scene. 9. Symbolic use of crowns. One of Basquiat's most recognizable symbols is the crown, which appears in many of his works. The crown represented many things for Basquiat: personal success, the struggles of Black heroes, and the elevation of marginalized figures to royal status. He used the crown to crown himself and others, making a statement about the value of Black artists in a predominantly white art world. 10. He had an obsession with anatomy. As a child, Basquiat suffered from a car accident that led to a long recovery period in the hospital. During his stay, his mother gave him a copy of Gray's Anatomy, a medical reference book filled with detailed illustrations of the human body. This book had a profound impact on his art, and he often depicted skeletal figures, organs, and anatomical elements in his paintings, blending them with abstract and expressionistic form. 11. Painted to jazz and hip-hop music was integral to Basquiat's creative process. He often painted while listening to jazz, hip-hop, and other genres of music. His rhythm and style of painting reflected the fast-paced, improvisational nature of the music he enjoyed. Jazz, in particular, influenced the syncopated, fragmented style of his art, while hip-hop resonated with his connection to New York's street culture. 12. He had a band called Gray. Before fully committing to his art career, Basquiat formed an experimental noise band called Gray with some friends in the late 1970s. The band was named after the book Gray's Anatomy, which Basquiat loved. While Gray didn't achieve commercial success, they performed in some of New York's most iconic underground venues, like CBGB. 13. Struggled with addiction. Despite his immense success, Basquiat struggled with drug addiction throughout much of his life, particularly heroin. His addiction worsened following the death of his close friend Andy Warhol in 1987, and it ultimately contributed to his death from an overdose in 1988. His personal struggles were often reflected in the darker themes of his later works. 14. Broke auction records. Posthumously, Basquiat's works have fetched astronomical prices at auction, often breaking records for contemporary art. In 2017, his painting Untitled, 1982, sold for $110.5 million at a Sotheby's auction, setting a new record for the highest price ever paid for an American artist's work. This sale cemented Basquiat's legacy as one of the most valuable and significant artists of the modern era. 15. Artistic legacy beyond his lifetime. Though Basquiat's life was cut tragically short, his influence on contemporary art and culture endures. His work continues to be exhibited around the world, inspiring a new generation of artists, musicians, and thinkers. His unique fusion of street art and fine art, combined with his commentary on race, identity, and history, ensures his place as one of the most important artists of the 20th century. These lesser-known facts reveal that Jean-Michel Basquiat's life and art were as complex and multifaceted as the works he left behind. His contributions to both the art world and pop culture continue to resonate decades after his passing.